Let's get real for a second, just man to man. You ever walk into a room and lock eyes with a woman, and something in your chest tightens? Not out of fear, but out of that deep, instinctive awareness that she's seeing you. Not just looking at you, but into you. It's more than your haircut or your outfit or your height. It's deeper than any surface-level trait. Women have this gift, this radar for energy. They don't need to hear a single word to know what kind of man just walked into the space. Before you even introduce yourself, before you get a chance to prove anything, she's already taken mental notes. Not based on facts but on feel. What kind of silence do you carry? What do you radiate when you're not speaking? Are you nervous, trying to hold your own? Or are you grounded, anchored in something bigger than approval? You see, the silence most men bring into a room is loud with anxiety. They fidget, they laugh too quickly, they fill the air with noise because they're uncomfortable. But a man who can walk in, own the space without chasing attention, and sit in the quiet without shrinking, that's a different kind of presence. That man doesn't speak to impress. He doesn't need to. His calm does the talking. His eye contact says, "I'm good with me." That steadiness, that self-trust, it shows before a single word is exchanged. And she feels it. She feels whether your silence is laced with neediness or rooted in self-respect. That kind of silent confidence is powerful because it can't be faked. And when it's real, when your energy tells her you're not here to perform, you're just here, she knows. That's when you've already said more than words ever could. Before she even knows your name, before there's a single conversation. A woman picks up on one thing that most men overlook: your relationship with yourself. It's not something you can dress up or cover with charm. It lives in how you carry yourself when you think no one's watching. Do you move through the world like someone who genuinely enjoys his own company? Or do you have that quiet desperation in your steps, like you're constantly waiting for someone else to validate you? Because whether you realize it or not, she can see it all. She can feel when a man is trying too hard, chasing attention, needing to be noticed, to feel like he matters. That energy isn't attractive, it's loud, unstable, and full of holes. But when you've done the work, when you're someone who doesn't need outside approval to feel whole, it's a different story. You become solid. You don't speak to be heard, you speak because you have something to say. You don't seek eyes, you're focused on your own path, your own peace. And that, right there, what draws her in. It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It's self-respect. It's a quiet, magnetic confidence that says, "I know who I am, and I like who I am." That kind of energy is rare because most people are still trying to find themselves in other people. But you, if you're rooted in solitude, if you've made peace with your own mind, she feels that from across the room. And it changes everything. It makes her curious. It makes her feel something she can't explain. Because when your confidence comes from within and not from her reaction, it's not only powerful, it's contagious. That's the kind of presence that doesn't just get attention, it earns respect instantly. You ever notice how some men walk into a room and, without saying a single word, everyone seems to feel them? Not because they're loud, not because they're trying to be seen, but because they move like they belong. That's not luck, that's presence. Real presence. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up grounded, aware, and unshaken. Women pick up on that immediately. The moment you step into a space, she's reading how you move. Are your eyes darting around nervously? Are you trying to be invisible or trying too hard to be noticed? Or are you simply observing, calm, deliberate, connected to your surroundings? That kind of awareness, it speaks louder than any pickup line ever could. Because the man who can walk into a room and scan it with focus, meet eyes without fear, and stay relaxed in his own frame, that man is centered. He's not looking for attention. He's already locked into who he is. And that level of control, that silent command of your environment, shows leadership without needing validation. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to take over. You're not reacting, you're choosing. You walk like you've walked into many rooms before and never had to chase anything. And that intention, that quiet certainty, it's something women notice fast. They can feel the difference between a man who's chasing approval and one who walks in alignment. The latter isn't out to impress, he's out to observe. And that's powerful. That's the kind of energy that makes people, especially women, pause and wonder, who is he? Because the man who can hold the room without trying to own it is rare. He doesn't demand attention. He attracts it simply by being fully present, fully aware, and fully himself. There's something powerful about how a man moves when no one's watching. That's where the truth lives. Because when you're not performing, when you're not trying to impress anyone, that's when your real character shows. And believe me, women are watching. Not just how you treat her, but how you treat everything. The way you hold the door for a stranger. The way you speak to someone who can't offer you anything. The way you react when you think no one important is paying attention. That's when your core shows. And it's either solid or it's see-through. Women don't need a long conversation to figure out what kind of man you are. They're reading your energy, reading your patterns. They can sense the difference between a man who treats people well out of principle and one who only turns on the charm when he wants something in return. Integrity isn't what you do when people are watching, it's who you are when they're not. Do you stay composed when things don't go your way? Do you carry respect in your tone, even with someone who's beneath your ego? Do you hold yourself like a man who's proud of how he lives, not just how he looks? Because that's what she sees. That's what feels safe. And safety doesn't come from being nice. It comes from being consistent, being real. When your energy is calm, respectful, and firm, even in the little moments, it says everything. That's what builds trust without saying a word. Not charm, not performance, just presence, rooted in truth. And when she feels that depth of character, that unwavering self-respect, it's different. It doesn't just attract her, it grounds her. Because when your life is built on something real, she knows instinctively, this is a man I can trust. There's nothing more magnetic than a man with a clear sense of direction. Not the kind of direction that's loud or flashy, but the quiet, unshakable kind, the kind that doesn't depend on who's watching or who's walking beside him. You can't fake that. A woman can feel it before you even speak. She can see it in the way you move, the way you make decisions, the way you carry yourself with purpose. You're not out here looking for someone to complete you because you're already building something. You've got a vision, a path, a reason to wake up that has nothing to do with her, and that's exactly why she's drawn in. When a man has purpose, everything about him changes. His focus, his posture, even the way he says no. He doesn't waste time because he knows time is fuel for what he's building. That's rare. And that rarity is what makes a woman look at you differently. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about being committed to something real. She's not just attracted to what you're doing, she's inspired by the way you live. You're not waiting for life to happen. You're creating it. And that clarity, it shifts everything. It tells her she's not your plan, she can be part of it, but she's not the purpose. That's powerful, because most men are still out here looking for approval, trying to be chosen, but you've already chosen your path. That independence doesn't push her away. It draws her in. Because when a woman feels a man moving with conviction, not searching for permission, it makes her wonder what it would feel like to walk beside that kind of energy. And that's what makes you unforgettable. Not your charm, your direction, your inner fire, your mission,